Well, good morning, everybody. I'm Jan Erickson from Stepping Aside, and welcome to As Above, So Below, a Rune and Tarot divination for Thursday, the 27th of January, 2022. Well, let's see. I hope everybody's had a good remainder, or at least the beginning part of the week. I hope you have a good rest of the week. Let's see. We have a 9 from today's esoteric influences. If you check that out on the blog over at Stepping Aside, it's still there, up toward the top. I've been doing things in weekly versions these days instead of daily, and the esoteric influences, though, I've always done weekly. But I've been going over them on Mondays and Thursdays, whatever it is for that particular day. So let's take a look at that before we get started on today's reading. We have an overall 9 numerology for today. So endings, completion, humanitarianism, and generosity. Also, the rune for today is Rado, which is a soul journey. It's process over goal, harmonious movement, rhythm, integration, and justice. The geomancy rune for today was Albus, or white hair, sage, or wise one. The sun's in Aquarius, the moon's in Sagittarius. And what I had for today, in terms of the interpretation for today, basically with the 9 energy, as one period is coming to an end, you're going to reflect on all that you've learned and experienced. You tend to understand the overall picture. That's the goal of looking back and taking a look at things, is to understand the overall picture and the integrated effort it took to achieve whatever your goal was. But now, today, it's looking like astrologically that there may be something new for you, or for everyone on the horizon. Could be a new job or something like that, but something that's going to affect your routine or life at home. And it's going to take some conversation with your loved ones, to your family, to even decide whether or not you're going to pursue the new goal, whether it's going to fit into your lifestyle. You need to explain your position to the family in a manner that doesn't bowl over what they want. You need to respect their input, and be certain that everybody's on the same page before pursuing this. It feels like there really needs to be some kind of unified effort here for this to go forward, for it to be successful. Because if you do something that impacts your family in a way that's not going to work, well, it's going to be a lot of conflict. So you don't want to do that. You all want to be in alignment with this purpose that's coming your way. Your goals are and again, your goals are important, but the needs of the family may require you to consider just how you plan to achieve them. Maybe the new opportunity that you're looking at, that you're thinking about, maybe that's not the one. Maybe there's going to be something else that comes your way. And because if the first one doesn't work out with the family, it ultimately isn't going to work for you. And so if that's the case, let go of your ego. Don't let the ego control the narrative, because otherwise the needs of your family are going to get lost in the shuffle. So that was basically what I said today in those. You can check them out. We still have a couple more days on this week's Friday and Saturday. So it's over there on the blog at imsteppingaside.com. So you can check that out there. Or you can sign up for the newsletter, which has that in it. You can do that. I had some other stuff in it I think I did some ray information, the cosmic rays, how they impact us over the course of the week. I think I added that to last week's, is what I did. I was going to do the other astrological aspects, but I think I took that out and I put the ray stuff in. I just find that to be really fascinating, the idea of cosmic rays coming through from the Creator to influence everything and everyone. I just think that's really fascinating, that whole esoteric concept. I like esoteric astrology over the traditional astrology, for that matter, because it considers things in a way that regular astrology does not do. And so it's just interesting anyway. So anyhow, check that out. You can sign up for the newsletter over there on the blog. It's just kind of scroll down. It's on the left side panel. Just scroll down a little bit and you'll see it. Just put your email in there, and it's free. It's just so you have it in your inbox, and then it's easy to go into your email and click on it and see, oh, okay, what was going on for today that I need to be thinking about. So that's all that's really about. It's just things you can be thinking about based on the astrology, the human design chart for the day, and then the esoteric stuff that I put. That's in the first paragraph, is the runes and the numerology and all of that. So anyhow, but today's rune for the reading is Thurisaz, or Thor's rune. It looks like the thorn. Looks like the thorn on a rose bush, doesn't it? And it's about defense as a means of attack in a way. It's protection. It's realizing that there's some opposition that may be coming up. Sometimes it's you getting in the way of yourself, but other times it's opposition that you're experiencing. And so it could indicate a little bit of conflict or what have you. And then let's take a look at the, it also means giants. Thor was a giant. A pretty big guy, reportedly, if you can believe what you read. Well, I have, let's see, Laetitia, which is joy, and maybe there's going to be some obstacles to joy. Joy and fellowship. Okay, where are you? Wait a minute, this might be it here. Yep, no, that's Tristitia. Tristitia is the opposite. That's loss and grief and sorrow and things that are tend to be more like deception oriented, like something behind the scenes is causing you a bunch of grief, but turned this way, it's Laetitia, or joy, or it's a positive rune, I guess you would say. It can mean good fortune as well, just like Fortuna Major can, and Fortuna Minor is lesser fortune, but still, excuse me. I think that either we need to break through whatever is keeping us from feeling joy today, maybe. You could look at it that way, possibly. But let's take a look at the cards and see if they can give us just a little bit more information. Let me get rid of my geomancy elemental runes. And with that, I use 4 runes that they have 1 dot on one side and 2 dots on the other, and they're corresponded to fire, air, water, and earth, and that's the flow that you do. The order you put them in when you're coming up with what the rune is, and then I just went ahead and I did them. Rather than trying to hold 4 runes in my hands to show you, I just did them so you can see what they look like after that happens. And that's really geomancy is sort of an earth divination tool. It can be a lot of different things. It can be the runes. It can be the understanding the energy of the ley lines that cover the earth. That's also geomancy. But it's basically earth-based. And then I would view then the Elder Futhark rune as the above side of as above, so below. That's more spirit-based. It's also a language, but for the purposes of divination, I view it as a language of spirit. So when you look at that, that's spirit coming in and informing the soul that, hey, remember, you're a soul and you're not this body you're in. So how about thinking about things from a higher level of awareness or understanding? So anyhow, same is true for the major arcana, by the way. Same sort of thing. Soul archetype cards is what those are. So anytime you see them in a reading, particularly if you get 3, if you're doing a 3-card reading and you get 3 major arcana cards, it's really the soul coming in or the spirit coming in saying, hey, this is a little different situation here, and you need to really look at this from a soul perspective instead of from ego. So let's take a look at what we have here. Well, we have cups represented twice and pentacles represented once. So there's a run on the emotional side of things, and realistically, I think that you would think, I guess, that maybe. Where is that? I don't see that anywhere. I want to say that Thurisaz is a water element, but I'm not sure. But basically, if so, well, Tristitia would be for sure, would have elements of water there because it's emotion. So I think that either we're feeling blocked by something or our joy is being blocked in some way. I mean, obviously, we're dealing with a pandemic. It could be that related to that. I mean, it could be really anything, especially if you're trying to change your. If we're looking at the esoteric influences for today, and you're trying to change your family or something you're doing is going to change your family structure. Maybe you're going to be on the road or something, and your spouse is going to, the new opportunity would put you there, and your spouse is going to have a bigger burden than what they had before, maybe. With the kids or something, or with taking care of the house or something. And so something like that might not work out. It might be attractive, might be lucrative, but maybe you need to let that go and let something else, and leave the door open for something else to come in. But we start out with the Five of Cups. So clearly change. We see three cups on the ground. Two are behind him. He can't see them, though. His back is turned to them. We don't really know what's happened here, but something's happened, and there's some emotional loss that's happened, maybe. Some grief. You see a river in front of him. You see the bridge here. I guarantee you there's three arches to that. We just don't see that. He's covering one of them. You see the home or the little castle or something. It doesn't look like there's a kingdom there. But he's wearing black, which could be, sorrow, if you want to call it that. But here we have grief, and we have some change that's happened, and a feeling of loss, a feeling of, like I can't fix this, So again, but then it's followed by the Three of Pentacles. And here you have somebody who's working his craft, he's plying his trade, he's doing some business basically with whoever owns this. But then you see two women that have come by and they're admiring his work. Pentacles is about the earth element, and so it's about our work, it's about our home life, it's about tradition, loyalty, structure, foundation, the Akashic record, all of those things that tell the story of our lives. And our work is part of that. And so again, if there's a new door that's opening or something for you, maybe this reflects what it is. So maybe you have to let go of that first opportunity that's coming your way, and maybe you're upset about it, but you need to gather your wits about you and realize that if this is affecting your family, it's not all about you, it's about them as well. The whole family unit has to be happy, all right? Because if they're not, then you're not going to have the support you need. You're going to constantly be worrying about what's going on at home, and it's not going to really be as fulfilling for you, unless you don't have a family at home, you're by yourself or something, that's another issue. But there could be something else that's impacted by it. But I think that given the Three of Cups that we have next, we have two threes here. And so 3 is really about creativity and optimism and clarity, mind, body, spirit balance, or spirit, soul, body balance, maybe. But here you have, again, two people coming by and admiring their work, the guy's work, maybe to hire them perhaps, for something, leading to the Three of Cups where you're celebrating. Again, there was a change that happened, and maybe you got laid off, maybe the job ended, maybe a new door is opening, but it needs to be one, that it's going to be lucrative enough that also benefits the whole, also benefits the family. Because here you see a lot of abundance around here, you see all the fruits of the labor. Here you have the 3 friends, and here with the 3 you've got mind, body, spirit balance. But this is triumph, victory, celebration. But in a way that everybody is in harmony, right? So if you need, in other words, something has happened perhaps in your life, and, maybe there was some opposition, maybe you felt you had to leave your job, there could be that. And so there's some sorrow regarding that. But in order for joy to return, you need to, whatever you do has to be in harmony with other people. And from today's esoteric influences, and also from the astrological influences and human design influences, it seems to settle on family. That seems to be what, or others in your life that can be impacted, if not family. And I suppose you could also look at it in terms of not just people, but maybe other aspects in your life that can be affected if you make a choice. In other words, if you choose an opportunity that's not necessarily the right one, you let that one go, something else is going to come. And that may be the one that's really going to do well for you today. Let me take another card, see which one it's going to modify. But I really think that, Thurisaz is probably modifying and reinforcing, or not modifying, but reinforcing the Five of Cups, where there's some kind of an emotional thing that's happened, or something that's happened that's brought up a lot of emotions. We could say it that way, maybe. So there's a lot of ways to look at this, and when you do a general reading, you're not taking into account what in other words, if you were doing an individual reading, you might be taking into account and asking questions. Okay, what is this, what's going on in your life that this could apply to? Are you experiencing some change? And if they say yes, well, then you start reading it from that standpoint in a way that can actually provide insight for them. It's not something where you're doing it on, irrespective of what's going on in their lives. They're coming to you because they want some advice. It's like, I've got this situation going and I don't know what direction to take here. And that's where the cards and the runes can help with that, and kind of give you a better focus, a more overall focus of what the pros and cons are of what you're dealing with. So generally speaking, I try to do this in a way where I might give a bunch of different, ideas of what this could be dealing with. But I'm going to take the 13th card for randomness sake. Maybe. My cards are still slick. It's still technically a new deck. Well, here we come full circle with the World. And I think that that's reinforcing that there's definitely a change that's happening. But it's one, because here you've got the next two cards that are showing success. But it just depends on which road you take, right? And whether or not you're going to look at your greater situation you're in and see what's really going to benefit you. And again, with today's esoteric influences, it seems to focus on the family and how that impacts the family. But it could be other things as well. If you don't have an immediate, if you live alone, or you just have roommates or something, or maybe if it is roommates, well, maybe you can't live there anymore because you don't have any money or something. Or maybe everyone's trying to maybe go to another location or something, find another house to live in, and now you're able to actually you have another job coming your way, or something. All of this stuff can impact your general circumstances that you're living in, or maybe the job that's opening up for you isn't going to give you enough money to provide for the living space you're in. So, it's clearly not going to, as exciting as it might be, it's not going to be suitable for your needs, right? So this could be defined a lot of different ways. Unfortunately, there's some change here, and it's causing some emotional upheaval, which seems to be reinforced by Thurisaz, all right? But if we want to get back to the joy and the happiness of these two cards, because these are clearly positive and joyful cards, we got to maybe rethink this. Here you have the last card of the major arcana. Again, soul coming in saying, remember me? This is not just about ego. We come full circle. We understand see the lemnis gates or figure eights above and below. How higher self affects hopefully the decisions that you make, and also the cyclical nature of our experiences in life. Anytime you see these little guys on the corners, these are the physical representations of air, fire, water, and earth. These are elements. You see the scrolls in her hands. Those are generally the word of all that is, or the creator. So this is basically suggesting to you, and you see, let's see, yeah, that's just a pennant that's around her. But this is a card of higher self, and it's suggesting that victory and success is possible if you choose a higher perspective. So I think that we can use that to maybe affect the 5 a little bit here. But the 21st card, again, that's a 3 energy. So we really have a run on 3s. The idea of mind, body, spirit balance, or spirit, soul, body balance, when the body would be ego or personality. The idea that if we allow ego to drive our experiences, then we have a lower vibrational experience that's happening. And maybe success might be there, but it doesn't help anybody but you. And maybe you walk over others to get what you want. There can be that happens when ego is driving things. Or you're not seeing the bigger picture. You're only focusing in on one aspect of something. And realistically, you get there and it's like, oh, well, I didn't know that, and you struggle then, okay? And so the idea with Thurisaz is we break through the perception that ego provides, and we choose a higher path to understand what we're looking at. And when we do that, then we have some reciprocity here. That's another thing with both the 2 and the 3. There's a feeling of reciprocity. He's plying his trade. They're coming by to admire it and perhaps hire him, by seeing all this wonderful work that he's doing. And so now, he can have some recognition from that. That's also an 8 energy. But it's interesting that when you look at that, that's a 3. You have a 3 here. Again, creativity, optimism, mind, body, spirit balance. And then you have the same thing here. And it's all, a cyclical kind of thing. If we maintain that sort of thing, we can repeat that same thing over and over and over again and have success, continued success all down the line. And it's interesting, 3, 3, and 3 is a 9, which is our numerology today. Endings, completion, humanitarianism, generosity. Generosity is also part of the 3, and because 9's a multiple of 3. So I think really that 3 energy coming into some kind of a unified experience with other people, where you consider the opinions of other people, consider their input, consider their needs. And if it looks like, hey, you know what, this is going to be too difficult, if it's a family situation, if this is going to put too much pressure on the family, then this is not the door you want to take. You want to wait for the next one and see if that's going to maybe be a better fit for you in your life. Otherwise, the change is going to bring you way too much sorrow, when what you want is joy and success. So again, we have success here, success with the 3 of Pentacles and success with the 3 of Cups, and I think that, again, understanding how you relate to how you integrate. Rado was the rune in the esoteric influences today. So we're talking about process over goal. And when we talk about that, it's sitting down with your family and saying, okay, this is a cool thing, but here's what's going to happen as a result. And the family's like, not going to work. Not going to work for any of us. Maybe it places unfair burden on your spouse or your partner. Maybe it places unfair burden on your children. So maybe not the thing to do, although it might seem exciting for the moment. Maybe you don't have all the facts, and you need to break through with Thurisaz to get through what the immediate ego is wanting, and let a higher awareness come in and guide your perspective, guide your choices, and guide your willingness to understand that you're not here alone, that what you do affects other people, and that has to matter for real success to take place. You might make a lot of money, but your family is not part of it, and maybe you're so focused on work that you never see them. Your children don't know you, your spouse doesn't know you, your partner doesn't know you. It doesn't work. It's all about you instead of about the collective us, basically. Now, this could probably be extrapolated. You could probably extrapolate this. In other words, I'm stumbling over my words here. You could extrapolate this to the greater society as well, I'm sure. But I think that this feels personal to me. It doesn't feel like it's something that, is society-wide, although, I mean, it could be, I'm sure. But I think for right now, we're just going to read this as an individual reading. And so see how this resonates with you. There, again, over the next few days, something could come your way that opens up into something that may not be the best choice. And so as attractive as it may seem, you really need to research it, and you need to understand, you need to talk with the people in your life and make sure that this is something that you can all manage and deal with. You know, we're still in this time of pandemic, and that colors everything if you actually understand what this is. If you don't, then you know you may be more given to do things that then impact your family in a way that maybe brings the virus into the house, and you don't need that. You don't need people getting sick or worse, because you know this is we're learning a lot about it. You know, we're learning about the long-term effects of this virus on people's bodies, and it's not good. I don't know that it affects everybody this way, but there are people that are really struggling, and we need to be aware of that. And the last thing you want to do is introduce that stressor into your family, if that's what it is. Maybe the job is going to put you in harm's way, basically. Maybe you're going to take a job where nobody's wearing masks, and that's not going to be a good thing for your family. So, again, it's just... there's a lot of other external issues to think about, not just simply whether or not you want a particular position that's opening up for you. It could bring a lot of heartache into your family, and you don't need that. So we've had enough, haven't we? I mean, it's been over 2 years now. You know, February 2nd was the day in 2020 when my husband and I decided to change our lives and basically lock down. It's not that we didn't go out to the store, but we were in masks, and then eventually when the vaccines happened, we've had all of those. And we still double mask when we go out. We've added goggles, and they're the ones with readers in them, so we can actually see the prices on things and see what it says on the package. Right before, it's like, oh geez, you know, I have to wear my glasses, you know, when I read. But I found safety glasses that have readers in them, and I got a couple pairs for us, and so we feel a whole lot safer going out. But with Omicron, I mean, I'm looking at the numbers just in our area alone, and it's way more than I've ever seen. I've been paying attention this whole time, and I read the report every day, and the number of people infected in our area has really grown, and just with this new Omicron deal. And so, I don't know, you know, I think that you still have to take into account whatever decisions you make, how much risk you're willing to take. And if you have a family at home, if you've got kiddos at home, that's not right to impose that on them. It just isn't. So, at least in my opinion. I'm not of the persuasion that think kids don't get affected by this, because I know that they do. So, anyway. I guess that's it. Have a good weekend. And again, you know, if something cool seems to be coming your way, research it. Be sure about it. Talk to the people around you, your family, your whoever's going to be impacted by it, and make the best decision going forward. So anyhow, that's it. Look for all the new stuff to come out here on the weekend. The esoteric influences, the weekly numerology, the ascendant rays and other astrological information. That's another one. The magical workings for the week, the correspondences for the week for work and magic, all of that. I've been doing it weekly. I think I'm going to continue that for a while and see how that goes. Newsletter comes out on Saturday. Again, you want to sign up. It's over on the side panel of my blog. Just scroll down a little bit. Links are below the video here for you if you need to be reminded of where that is. And everywhere else I am in the world, mostly I hang out on Twitter, but you know, I'm other places too. I just tend not to talk on anywhere else but on Twitter. So anyway, you want to follow me over there, I'll follow you back. Anyhow, I guess that's it. I don't think I have anything else to tell you about. Oh, saw an owl yesterday. We were coming back down from getting a package up at the top of the property, and that was delivered, and we're walking back down the driveway, and I saw a bird fly up into a tree, right? And it looked like it was huge. It looked like maybe an eagle the way it was sitting. I don't think so. I think it was an owl, because there's two that hang out around here, and the other one was on our fence line. And I got a picture of it and sent it to the kids and everything. But I've never been that close to an owl that's here. Usually we hear them at night, but we don't see them. And we saw one. It was the most incredible thing. And it kind of got down and looked at us, and then it flew off, and it flew up into that tree with the other one. So I'm thinking, oh, that's the pair of owls that are around here. So that was so cool. I was just so cool. We've got ice fog everywhere. And so to see that owl sitting on a icy, foggy, an ice fog fence line, oh, it was just so very cool. Anyway, other than that, that's the only other thing. So Grandbaby's doing well. Got a great picture of him yesterday, and was 13 or was he 13 days old? No, 10 days old. Yeah, he's 10 days old. Or no, was he 13? No, he's 13 days old yesterday. So yeah, very cool. I can't wait to see them all again. So anyway, have a good weekend, and we'll talk again Monday for another edition of As Above, So Below. Be good to yourself. Be good to one another, and blessed be.